Hello everyone and welcome to a first impressions video for the game Earthlock, Festival of Magic. Although I'm fairly certain you already knew that just by the title of this video, this game has been out for some time, but I was able to get my hands on it due to the Games for Gold program. Yes, I know, I'm a plebeian for the fact that I had to rely on the program just to get it, though I felt that making the video about it so that other players know if it's worth the download was the correct thing to do. Starting off, let's look at the art style, and for future reference, these are my opinions and you may disagree with me. It is also perfectly fine if you disagree with me, as that's the #1 way to create normal and healthy discussions. The art style for Earthlock reminds me of Final Fantasy, and now dear viewer, before you jump on me for saying that, I specifically mean this for the sake that during cutscenes you can see the player models are on 2D images. The play models are just positioned on them to make it seem as if they were lower or on higher elevation. There is nothing wrong with that, and it made me feel fairly nostalgic seeing that type of animation for the cutscenes during the game. While on the topic of nostalgia, let's go over the actual turn-based gameplay. The gameplay is smooth, for a turn-based role-playing game that is, although for people new to the genre of turn-based games, such as this, it might feel a bit wonky and difficult to use at first. However, rest assured dear viewer, it is easy to get the hang of how the gameplay works. It has the classic system of a tank, rogue, and healer, which is very common in these kind of games, although there is one big difference than most of which I have seen: the ability to change stances during and before combat. Now this isn't exactly a monumental difference, but it was a change of pace. By changing stances, you can configure a character for 2 different roles, such as the tank I mentioned earlier can either be made to specifically take damage, or in a different stance, be made to deal damage. That is actually seen through all of the characters, and it changes how each battle feels. Some enemies you will need to have a tank to deflect melee-based damage, but when all melee-based enemies are gone, you simply switch the stance to attack the ranged enemies. Each character has 2 stances as previously mentioned, and each stance has a different role to be contributed. After playing the game for a few hours, I finally reached the point where I finally had all 3 classes which I mentioned above: rogue, healer, and tank. By the time I gained all 3, I was also introduced to the hub location where you can craft abilities, ammo, weapons, and even rest to gain HP back. The hub area plays an important role from that point on in the game. I cannot say what happens after this point, as I have yet to continue into the story and exploration. However, I do enjoy the game and I believe that it is worth a try, and if you are anything like me, you will continue to play it. By the time I finish the game, I will end up making a review surrounding the entire game. My rather positive opinion as of right now may change as I experience more of the game. So if you'd like to see my full opinion after completing the game, be sure to stick around on 6 Gaming to view it when it comes out. Thanks again for joining us everyone, this has been Ricky, and until next time.